Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Fluent Ingo. I'm Mohammed, and today I want to take you on a journey. It's a journey that almost every English learner dreams about. The journey from being a complete beginner to finally speaking English with confidence and fluency. Now, many learners ask me, Mohammed, what is the best order to learn English? Should I focus on grammar first or vocabulary? Should I watch movies or read books or just speak as much as possible? These are excellent questions, and the truth is, if you try to learn everything at the same time, you might feel lost or overwhelmed. That's why today I will guide you step by step. I will show you a clear order, a pathway that takes you from the very first stages of learning English all the way to advanced fluency. Think of it like building a house. You cannot live in the house until you first build the foundation. You cannot decorate the house until you first build the walls. Learning English is exactly the same. So, let's begin this journey together. Every house needs a strong foundation. If the foundation is weak, the house will not stand. Think about it. If you build a beautiful house with walls, windows, even decorations, but the ground under it is soft and shaky, what will happen? The house will fall down. Learning English is the same. You cannot start with the roof. You cannot begin with complicated grammar or long essays or fast conversations. You must begin with the ground, the strong, simple base that will support everything else. And what is the foundation in English? It is the very basics. It is a small set of simple words and expressions that you can use to survive in daily life. Imagine you are traveling to an English-speaking country. You step off the plane, you go to a cafe, and you want to order a drink. What do you say? You don't need long sentences. You don't need perfect grammar. You only need something simple. I want water or coffee, please. As simple as that. Later, you walk down the street. You are lost. You want to find a train station. What do you say? Something like, "Where is the station?" or "Where is the bus?" Simple, direct, easy to understand. This is your foundation. These are the basics. Words like eat, go, sleep, work, home. Phrases like how much, I don't understand, can you help me, where is the bathroom? It's not about having thousands of words. In fact, research shows that with just 500 to 1,000 of the most common words, you will already understand a huge amount of everyday English. You won't say everything perfectly, but you will be able to survive. You can buy food, ask for help, tell people what you want, and answer simple questions. At this stage, don't think about perfect grammar. Don't worry if you don't know whether to use present perfect or past simple. Don't worry about speaking quickly. That will come later. For now, focus only on learning the most important words and the simplest grammar patterns. And something magical happens when you do this. Once you can use these simple words in real life, your brain begins to feel more comfortable with English. Suddenly, English is not a mountain that is too high to climb. It becomes something you can actually use, something alive. Shadowing is not just repeating words. It is training your mouth, your tongue, your ears, and your brain to work together. You listen to a sentence and you repeat it. First, slowly, with care, then a little faster, and eventually you match the natural rhythm of the speaker. At first, it feels mechanical, but very soon something amazing happens. The sentences no longer feel foreign. They begin to feel natural. And that is when English stops being only a school subject. It starts to feel alive inside you. You are no longer just memorizing words from a book. You are using English as a real language. It becomes part of you, part of how you think, how you express, and how you connect with the world. At this stage, do not rush. The walls of the house cannot be built in one day. In the same way, build your English day by day with patience. Add new words. Try new tenses. Listen a lot. Speak a little more each day. And slowly you will look around and realize your house is no longer just a flat foundation. The walls are rising. The shape is visible. And of course, keep listening. The more you hear natural English, the more you absorb without even realizing it. The patterns, the expressions, the way sentences rise and fall, they slowly become part of you. Now, let me pause here for something important. At this stage, many learners feel frustrated. They understand quite a lot. They can read a book. They can follow a podcast. They can even talk to friends. But when they speak, they still make mistakes. They forget words. Their sentences are not perfect. And they begin to think, maybe my English is not good enough. My friend, let me tell you the truth. Mistakes at this stage are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign that you are growing. If you can tell a story in English, even with mistakes, you are already further than most learners ever go. Do not be ashamed of mistakes. Wear them with pride. They mean you are using English, not just studying it. Now, after you have built the structure, after you have the walls, what comes next? In a house, after the walls are up, you start to create the rooms. You divide the space. You decide where the kitchen will be, where the bedroom will go, where you will sit and relax. In your English journey, this is the stage where you expand into different areas of life. You no longer only talk about simple everyday topics. You start to express opinions. You start to tell stories. You start to talk about your feelings, your dreams, your memories. At this stage, your vocabulary grows to around 2,000 to 3,000 words, but more importantly, you begin to understand the culture behind the language. You understand why people say certain things. You understand jokes. You understand when someone is being serious or sarcastic. This is also the stage where you can start to think in English. You no longer translate everything in your head. When someone asks you a question, the answer comes in English, not in your native language first. This is a huge step forward. It means English is becoming a natural part of your thinking process. So how do you reach this stage? You reach it by exposing yourself to real English in many different forms. Watch movies without subtitles. Listen to music and try to understand the lyrics. Read books that interest you. Have conversations with native speakers, if possible. The key is variety. The more different situations you experience in English, the more rooms you build in your house. Each new situation is like a new room where you feel comfortable and confident. The next stage in your English journey is about becoming natural. The structure of your language is already there. You can communicate. You can survive. You can even explain yourself in detail. But now you want to sound smooth. You want to sound fluent. You want to sound alive in English. This is when you begin to work on your pronunciation. You start paying attention not only to what you say, but how you say it. You learn the rhythm of English sentences, the music of intonation, the way native speakers connect words together. Instead of saying every word slowly and separately, you learn to flow. For example, instead of saying, "What do you want to do?" you learn to say, "What do you want to do?" where the words connect and blend. Instead of saying, "I am going to," you learn to say, "I'm gonna" in casual conversation. These small changes are like decorations. They make your speech sound natural and fluent, not robotic. Your vocabulary continues to grow, often to 6,000 words or more. But here's the difference. You no longer memorize words for a test. You are learning words naturally through reading novels, listening to podcasts, or having real conversations. These words stay with you because they are connected to experiences and emotions. And grammar. At this stage, grammar is no longer something you stop to think about. You don't pause and ask yourself, should I say "I have been" or "I went"? The right choice just comes. It feels automatic, almost instinctive. It is the same as walking. You don't think about how to move your legs. You just walk. This is when you realize that English is not something outside of you anymore. It is inside you. It has become part of who you are. Now we come to the final stage. The house is built. The walls are strong. The rooms are decorated. You have been living in this house for a while. It feels like home. This is advanced fluency. At this stage, English is not just a language you speak. It is a part of your identity.
ثانية واحدة، تعرف إن 90% من طلابنا قدروا يتكلموا اللغة الإنجليزية بعد 3 شهور بس؟ أكتر من 1,800,000,000 شخص حول العالم بيتكلموا اللغة الإنجليزية، مش نفسك تبقى واحد منهم؟ في كورس فلوينت إنجو بنساعدك إنك تكسر حاجز الخوف وتتكلم اللغة الإنجليزية في 3 شهور بس، وده من خلال محاضرة أسبوعية على تطبيق زوم. ومش بس كده، معاك مدرس مخصوص بيتواصل معاك عن طريق واتساب أو من خلال مكالمة أو من خلال فيديو كول، وكل مهمته إن هو يخليك تمارس اللغة الإنجليزية يوميا، وبخصم 50% على أول 100 طالب هتقدر تحقق حلمك وتتكلم اللغة الإنجليزية بطلاقة. يلا مستني إيه؟ رابط الحجز هتلاقيه في الوصف أو في أول تعليق.
You can express any idea no matter how complex. You can understand humor, sarcasm, and subtle meanings. You can switch between formal and informal English depending on the situation. You can watch any movie, read any book, have any conversation without feeling tired or overwhelmed. But here's something interesting. Even at this stage, you never stop learning. Native speakers never stop learning new words either. Language is alive. It changes every day. New words appear. New expressions become popular. So at this stage, learning becomes a joy, not a task. You learn because you are curious, not because you have to. You discover new words and phrases naturally, and they add richness to your expression. Now, let me share something personal with you. I have been learning languages for many years, and I have seen many students succeed and many fail. Many students give up. The ones who succeed are not always the most talented. They are not always the ones with the best memory. The ones who succeed are the ones who keep going. They are the ones who accept that learning a language takes time. They are the ones who celebrate small victories. They are the ones who understand that every mistake is a step forward. So, my friends, that is the journey from beginner to fluent. First, you build the foundation with basic words and grammar. Then, you build the structure with more vocabulary and balanced practice. Then, you expand the rooms with real-life situations. Next, you decorate with natural pronunciation, idioms, and advanced grammar. And finally, you live in the house. You live in English with fluency. The most important thing is not to rush. Do not try to skip levels. Walk step by step, and every step will prepare you for the next one. If you try to run before you can walk, you will fall. But if you take it slowly, if you are patient with yourself, you will get there, I promise you. Now, I want to give you some practical advice for each stage of the journey. For the foundation stage, focus on the most common words. Make a list of the 500 most frequently used English words and practice them every day. Use flashcards, use apps, but most importantly, use them in sentences. Don't just memorize the word water. Say, I want water. Where is the water? Thank you for the water. Put the word into context. For the structure stage, balance is key. Spend 50% of your time on input, listening and reading, and 50% on output, speaking and writing. Find a language partner if you can. Write a short diary entry every day. Even 3 sentences is enough. Read news articles for learners. Listen to podcasts made for English learners. And always repeat out loud. For the expansion stage, immerse yourself in the language as much as possible. Change your phone language to English. Watch YouTube videos about topics you love. Find a TV series and watch it without subtitles. The first episode will be hard. The second will be easier. By the end of the season, you will understand much more than you thought possible. For the natural stage, focus on the music of the language. Listen to how native speakers stress certain words. Notice how their voice goes up and down. Try to copy not just the words, but the feeling behind them. Record yourself speaking and compare it to a native speaker. Be honest with yourself, but also be kind. You are not trying to be perfect. You are trying to be clear and natural. For the fluency stage, enjoy the language. Read books that make you think. Watch movies that make you cry or laugh. Have deep conversations with people. Write stories or poems if you like. English is now your tool for connecting with the world. Use it fully. And remember, no matter what stage you are at, you are making progress. Even on days when you feel like you learned nothing, your brain was working in the background. It was making connections. It was getting stronger. Learning a language is like growing a tree. You cannot see it grow day by day, but over months and years, you look and see how tall it has become. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this journey has helped you see the path more clearly. If you found this episode useful, make sure you subscribe, share it with a friend, and listen again tomorrow. Repetition is your best friend. Remember? The more you hear these ideas, the more they will stay with you. I'm Mohammed, and this is Fluent Ngo. Until next time, take one small step every day, be patient with yourself, and keep believing that you can do this, because you can. Bye for now.